Hey, I hope you're good. So this week we've got the Roland RS-09, also known as the Organ/Strings 09. The original came out in 1978. It was then updated in about 1980-81. This is the early 80s version, the giveaway being these knobs and these buttons, which you might recognise from the TR-808 and the Jupiter 8. Now, vintage analog Roland synths are very expensive these days, but the RS-09 can still be picked up for a few £100. So the question is that because it's a forgettable turkey, or is it because it's a forgotten gem? So let's find out. Okay, so we've got no sound. So let's select Organ 1 and turn up these octave dividers. And those octave dividers work like the drawbars on an organ, basically. So you could set up a kind of scooped sound. I don't know why I'm playing really gothic stuff, but it just kind of feels like that. Then you can do the opposite, a kind of middly sound. And you can jump up an octave. And then we've got Organ 2. Which is a brighter sound. I think these are both square waves that have been filtered in different ways. So this makes this more like a triangle, and this one is more squarey. And then we can use the balance of the drawbars and the two sounds together to get a kind of mix. And go a bit Danny Elfman if we want. We've got a filter as well. It's not resonant, you can't modulate it, so it's not particularly exciting, but it's better to have it than not. And then we've got this vibrato section, which is of course an LFO. There's delay, there's rate and depth, which you'll be familiar with if you've used Roland synths before. So it can go quite fast. And this is how you kind of set up that kind of electric organ sound, something like this. So that's the end of the organ sounds, if that makes sense. We can then back the vibrato off and we can turn on this ensemble effect, which is a chorus effect, which changes things quite a lot. So you can hear that swirling away. There's two modes for the ensemble. 2 is slower. 1 is faster. And then there's this envelope that's just got a release. And there's 2 modes on the envelope release. Mode 2 I was in, the notes overlap. And mode 1, it's like an auto damp, so when you press a new chord, it kind of damps off the old one. So you can hear the old chord gets damped underneath, which is good if you're playing stuff that is kind of modal mixture and you're using sharps and flats that might clash with the chord before, for example. Okay, so for the strings, we've got 8 feet. Four feet. And then we can jump up an octave as well. Pretty dull so far, but there's quite a few more things we can do. So if we add both the string footings, the ensemble effect, some release from the envelope, and a little bit of vibrato from the LFO over there, it sounds like this. Now the strings go through a separate VCA that the organ doesn't go through, and whilst that allows you to have control on the attack amount, the paraphonic nature of that structure means that you get that kind of choking effect when you change from one chord to the next, regardless of what's going on with the envelope release. So I'll show you now. So let's set a long attack. And as soon as I play a second chord, it's going to choke the first. As you heard, singing away nicely, gets choked. And even with short attack phases, that's always going to happen. And it sounds a bit clunky, but if you then combine the strings with the organ, we can get something much better. Which is what I played in the intro of the video as well. So this is where a little bit of work delving around allows you to get some more usable, more characterful sounds. So if we look at the back of the RS-09, we discover it's got a couple more tricks up its sleeve. So if you take the organ raw signal out and put that in the external signal in of another synth, take the gate out and put that in the gate in of the other synth, and then take the audio out of that synth and put it in the external audio in of the RS-09, bit complicated. You can then use the superior filter of another synth and have control of the envelope of that filter as well. You can also run audio through the external audio in, and then that allows you to add the ensemble effect to it and put it in stereo, which is a nice bonus. So the final thing I'm going to do is do a track using the kind of best of functionality of the RS-09 to see what that sounds like. So let's have a listen.